Something funny, Rufus?
What? No. It's dumb shit.
Was it about Golden Boy? I want to hear.
I said what some guys will do just to get away from Kate.
Cute. Do you like baseball?
Baseball? Yeah.
You're gonna take a little jog over to Dick's Sporting Goods. Buy yourself a nice Louisville Slugger. Bring it right back to the quad. And swing that bat as hard as you can into your nuts. Every hour on the hour. And every time you swing, yell Jumanji. Sound good?
Sounds fucking great.
Hey, panelists, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
And this episode is going to be a spoilerful episode about Gen V Season 1, Episode 2, First Day. And obviously, we're continuing our coverage with Gen V. We're doing this episodically, as we said before, early on the last podcast. So we're going episode by episode. I'm staying true to actually watching each episode separately before we come to the podcast, not spoiling myself. Though I did get spoiled on something on episode 4 that somebody had mentioned to me recently.
I haven't watched episode 4 yet, but I did watch the first 3. So.
Okay. But yeah, we're doing season 1, episode 2, First Day. The synopsis for this particular episode, straight from Amazon Prime Video. The Godolphin University Mental Health Hotline would like to remind students at this difficult time that you are not alone. You might be bulletproof on the outside, but you're not on the inside. Our caring staff is trained to deal with the specific emotional needs of superheroes, and they're here to help you. If you need to talk to someone, help is a phone call away or a V message away. Hashtag God you cares.
I like the way I like the way it's like V message.
Yeah.
Not iMessage, not because everything is about yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and they actually, that's part of it. Spoilers, everybody. Yeah, we're going to talk about spoilers a little bit for the fact that they talk about social media and they have something that they give Marie in the very beginning right away because she didn't have a phone. Your Twitter's blowing up. Oh, I don't have a Twitter. Well, here it is. And then they right away, because of the whole situation, publicize it. But before we get into that, we'll go right into initial thoughts. What did you like about what did you think of the episode?
Well, just like I thought in the beginning, where, even though the commercial makes it seem like, oh, everybody's happy-go-lucky in this university, that there was going to be a lot of messed up stuff in the background. And man, did we see a lot. The one thing that really caught my eye out of this whole thing was the amount of social commentaries that this show has.
Oh, yes.
It's insane. And I'm sure I still don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. And what I mean by that is taking certain traumas and certain things that, real people in the real world go through and making it seem like it's a
Everyday thing.
It's a superhero ability.
I think what they're trying to do in their issues is we're talking about Little Cricket and her throwing up. She's got bulimia.
Right.
And for her to do that, she has special powers to come out. But it's also showing a commentary of how to be more involved. She has to do this to, in her case, expose her powers or do something with her powers and how bad it is for her as a person. Or the issue of, let's say, in the case of this episode, to be popular, and they have the hot or not vote that you have. And I haven't seen a billboard like that on a show or a movie since a movie called Sydney White that had Amanda Bynes in it, which was literally a Snow White movie of her going to college. And she shows up to college, and of course, the witch character is played by a girl, and her name, everything was all Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Symbolism.
Exactly. But it had the same thing. So it shows like how that devastating that could be, because if you're not on number one, you're bad. Because you could see that happening to Jordan Lee
Right.
and Jordan.
To Jordan, but you can also see the whole thing with Maria about cutting. People who cut themselves in order
her
to deal with it.
abilities with the cutting, and then
Right. But
and
that's the part that I was saying. They make it seem like, oh, the cutting and the throwing up is produces a superpower.
yeah,
When in reality, I mean, in real life, it's I mean, even though in here you could see that it's also devastating for the character, but in real life,
Yes.
it's devastating for people, and you don't get any superpowers. So I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I
Well,
love the show, don't get me wrong, but it's a very interesting way that they are describing these powers. And I will go into also how this simulates the X-Men.
yeah. A lot of people have been equating more and more like that,
Right.
as you have. When it comes to the show, obviously it's M for mature. They don't say rated R or anything like that. So
Right.
obviously they're looking for adults to be watching this so they can know the difference between fantasy and reality. But, people could sit themselves. What they also don't really disclose or put a warning is anybody who has mental issues. That would be a trigger for them to lose their mind. Somebody who's out of it, can't differentiate the reality from fantasy.
Correct.
And then they're out there trying, like you said, they could be cutting themselves saying, oh, I could do this with my blood. Look at what I could do. And no, you're bleeding to death. Or
Right.
I'm throwing up and it's affected them. And
Well, I mean, again,
destroys their body.
there's a ton of things in there. I mean, maybe them bringing it up as something for people to be aware about, or to see, in case they are seeing people, or feel that there are people doing this, that it's not it's not a normal thing.
Yeah.
So
the negative influence is what you're concerned about, I think.
It's
from
just the fact that, I don't know, maybe them. I mean, I know they're bringing it up, and hopefully throughout the entire season, they really could touch upon the fact that all these things that these characters are doing to themselves in order for them to achieve whatever superpowers they're trying to do,
or even celebrity at this point, because the majority of them are going to the school to become quote unquote a hero. And and a lot of their powers, some of them, like they stated in the very beginning with Brinkman, with Clancy Brown's character originally, what he stated, it's like you cut yourself. That's not a hero type of power. That's
Correct.
kind of, and he basically flat out said it's gross. Meanwhile, you had Golden Boy, who was amazing at what he could do.
Right.
But even still, that was self-destructive because he blew up. He turned into Icarus right in the sky. Instead of melting, he blew up. He killed himself that way.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of things in this show that, I mean, we'll see throughout the entire season. But I mean, besides those things, the other thing that of course I caught on is the whole popularity thing, but also how toxic is the television or the entertainment world, I would say, when it comes to how they treat people.
Oh,
just because they're trying to get ratings and things like that,
or clicks, or
correct
subscribers,
and,
or
right, and how they exploit these people in order for them to make their money. And if they're not in the top 10 or whatever it is, well, screw them. Who cares about them?
Yeah.
But it's like what is it? Golden Boy is his name.
Yeah.
Golden Boy was exactly that. Or he was the number one choice to go to I guess to the 7, and because of what happened, all of a sudden they abandoned him, and all they cared about was the money that they were losing, and not why did this happen. And that's again, this is a kind of a, what I would say, part of the Boys universe, on the fact that people keep getting hurt. People keep getting used in so many different ways.
Yeah.
just because they want to make these supers look better. And of course, because Vought being a company wants to make sure that they're getting their money's worth, that they don't care whose life they ruined.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not trying to come up with, trying to be a downer on this whole thing.
No,
It's just,
I know that.
it's interesting on how this show, especially in the boys universe, how all of that really does relate very well.
It still relates. It's still relatable. They made it a little bit more apparent with younger actors and
Correct.
a youthful situation, I should say, because they're still growing. They're teenagers. They're learning to develop these powers on their own, but also learning to develop as a person.
Correct.
And that makes it even worse. So it's like a ticking time bomb, not to make a pun in it about Luke Golden Boy blowing up, but literally that's what it is. They are their own worst enemy at times as well, because with all this influence and everything.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing with, like, probably kids going to school, high school, or even college, where, they don't have the maturity to deal with all these social things, and they don't have the maturity to know how, or the experience in life to know how to deal with these things. So of course this is a fantasy.
Yes.
But the fact that they're showing it as, hey, some people with great superpowers are the more popular kids, and maybe the ones with the most awkward powers or something like that are the ones that are going to be made fun of.
Correct.
And I imagine that kids in school feel the same way, where it's like, hey, kids with the better hair, the better clothes, the better things are the ones that are going to be popular, while the ones that, probably don't have the latest fashion or the latest sneakers, those are the ones that are getting made fun of and things like that, which I could see that relationship. And unfortunately, I think that because of the way this show is, which can get very rated R, almost to the point of rated X or NC or NC-17.
Correct. Yeah.
It's probably not for kids to watch, but then again, high schoolers are going to watch whatever.
Yeah. Well, these days. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially.
And we've mentioned it before, not on this podcast, but on my other podcast with Adrenaline, make jokes about how we used to just like, oh, I was watching that as a teenager, or even like when I was a little kid. So, we were Gen Xer, so obviously parents were sometimes hardly there, and you're just like, yeah, I snuck out of school and I went to go see this rated R film. Holy crap! Did you see that?
That is true. That is true.
Kids will be kids, and just like you said, that gave that comparison about the kids who can't get that stuff, like don't have the popular clothes, the look, the makeup. Look at Marie Moreau. She has nothing. She doesn't even have a phone,
right,
or a computer at that.
Exactly.
So she is coming in cold from whatever place was taking care of her. It looked like a hospital, I think, and or a halfway house that is meant for kids that are with V juice inside them, and because of her situation. So she comes in and, what, you don't have this, you don't have that, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you look at Little Cricket with her issues and how she has to do that, as far as like for her powers, she has to vomit in order to get little and then eat to get big. You got Kate Dunlap, who is Luke's, well, now ex-girlfriend, because Luke's no more, but she has to wear gloves because touching somebody automatically her powers engage, so she can influence them.
Right.
There's a drawback to some of this, kind of like the movie that I mentioned last week, or the last episode about Sky High, where kids had all abilities, but you could be either a hero or a sidekick in that one. And the sidekicks had all the stupid powers in the world. It's like, what can you turn into? A gerbil. Okay, well, that's a great power right there. All righty then.
It's like sidekick check.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like Bruce Campbell and that we're in there in gym class, and they have to show their powers.
Right.
It is power sampling. And he'll be like, sidekick. He's like, point out as soon as they show their power. He goes, dude, what could you do? I could glow in the dark. It's not happening right now, but it's gonna happen. I could do it. He goes, sidekick, right away. But even that, but it's more dramatized, comedic, and that was for it was a movie for family anyway.
Right.
But in this case, it's the far end of the world. I personally do enjoy the episode, and like you said, those points, those commentaries did bring through.
Mm-hmm.
But it also shows just naturally how people could be twisted around, changed as well. What we see that happens to Marie because she's deemed as the person that saved Godolphin University from Golden
Right.
Boy. And that was far from the truth because we know that Jordan Lee was backed him off after a certain point and was holding him off and told Marie to run. And then Marie was telling everybody to run after that before, Luke came out. And
Right.
then, of course, Luke's friend, Andre, is there too. And Andre was trying to help to some degree, try to stop him. And they're both Marie and Andre are geared as being the heroes in this. And that's where this episode kind of stems from. They become they're instantly popular right away. And what I liked about it was the very first scene, because literally it's at night, it's after the incident. You see them literally mopping up Golden
Oh my
Boy.
God, yeah.
You see flesh and chunks of flesh in the grout on in the
The amount of
concrete.
carnage and they were just shoveling it and just kind of throwing it in the sewer.
And in a bucket. And
Yeah.
And it shows you how they're just mopping up and cleaning up after their own mess. And the song that comes on was very, very good to cover it. And it's
Love that song.
Phoebe Bridgers' version of Nothing Else Matters from Metallica.
Yeah.
And
No, that is fantastic.
it was amazing. I really did enjoy that. And I was so happy when I heard that. I'm like, okay, finally. And now it's a show that I could gear to because there's certain shows that I forget which show had it. Well, I'm going to say, Yellow Jackets is a show that you could actually have like a Spotify playlist.
I still haven't seen that.
Sandman was another show that I had covered with Jamie on Sandman Cast, and that you could have a playlist because they had certain scenes and different songs done by different
Right.
people. And I was just like, okay, I'm liking this. I'm hoping they give us more songs. And at the very end, we did get another song. But during the interview process, there was a song I wasn't familiar with because obviously it's probably more modern and popular for the kids.
Right.
But I just enjoyed that because we got Bananarama at the very end and they're singing Venus.
Mhm.
But that we'll talk about that when we talk about the scene where it comes up. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, I like when shows do that. So that way, because that seems to be the new cliche thing. It's like, let's have a playlist for this. They did it for, of all things, Moon Knight.
They did.
Yeah. And I actually liked a lot of the music that was on there because it was like it was techno and dubstep, some of the stuff that I was hearing out of it. And I'm like, from that end of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really interesting.
I'll be very interested because, some of these needle drops, I mean, let me tell you, first of all, they cost a lot of money, especially they're like a good, huge part of the budget because
any movies like that. I had spoken to I was talking to a director. He's doing the movie still. I mentioned it. Who I met Scott Goldstein. Not Scott Goldstein. Scott Goldberg from and he's doing a movie. It's currently in production. They're still getting more people to pay into it, which is great.
Right.
It's called The Forest Hills, and he's got Shelley Duvall in it, and he's got Edward Furlong in it. It is geared more towards being a horror movie. But he got Blackmore's Night. Now, Richie Blackmore is from Deep Purple, and Blackmore's Night is a group that Richie had created with his wife, and it's more Renaissance kind of music. Apparently, one of the producers was able to get Richie to donate the song for the movie.
Okay.
Allowed them to use a live version of the song which was amazing because
Right.
I had asked Scott, I said, how much would have it cost you if you had to? He goes, dude, it would have been like thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, so some of these just to get a song,
And they don't, and that's just literally for that to use it.
right?
But think about the royalties and everything on that.
Correct.
It doesn't go to the movie or anything or the show. It goes literally back to the artist, and because they have own publishing and playable rights.
Yeah, everything depends on the studio too, because sometimes what happens is like, so let's say Sony, which of course has also Sony Music.
Mm-hmm.
There might be something there where even though they might put a certain song from an artist,
Mhm.
they might not pay as much to that artist because Sony, of course, maybe owns the distribution rights or
Yes.
whatever it is that, so who knows how that works. Or maybe it's in their contract saying, hey, in the future, we might use one of your songs in a movie, and that's part of this contract here.
Yeah. Well, that's why you have to have an ironclad contract when it comes to that. A lot of artists nowadays, when they're literally, if they're putting out the music themselves, they own it.
Yes.
And with digital content the way it is now, they're not making much on it. That's when it becomes an issue with publishing for digital distribution, or digital streaming is the worst, because you're still getting, because I come from pro audio where I was working with musicians, producers, engineers, and artists like that, where literally for radio play, you are guaranteed, because if you belong to ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC, you're making 8.5 cents per play.
Correct.
Per whatever station or wherever it is in the United States or across the world. So you can make money. Nowadays, a majority of the people that make that kind of money still are older, because that's what the agreement was back then. Now you make less than nothing from Spotify, Pandora, or any of those places. Or even Apple
exactly.
Music.
Exactly. I mean, that's part of that big thing. I mean, listen, where an artist, from what I hear, really makes their money is concerts, because that's
live music is the best.
Live music,
got to put people, but get those butts in that seat, sell your merch at the front door, and ticket sales. And that's why, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, this why that we have, it would cost you, where it used to be like, I used to get a concert ticket back in the late 80s for like $25, and I'd have seventh row seats.
Exactly.
Now, to get those same seats, you're looking at $725 just to get to like maybe a nosebleed seat at times, depending on the artist. Like Bruce Springsteen, let's give that as an example. But front row seats or even a private venue could charge, you're talking thousands of dollars.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I was looking at Radio City Music Hall just to go see John Williams. And in the front, like towards the front, those were going for over $1,000. And then towards the middle or something like that, about $400 to $600. And then balcony seats and stuff like that around the $150, $200 range. And I was like, wow. And this is a composer for film, which does not, what I would say, command the.
He's got rock star presence, trust me.
Well,
everybody knows John
Right.
Williams.
Yes, but not the way you have like either a Taylor Swift, or if you have like a Beyonce or something like that. So, but it was still up there, and it was like, wow, okay. I mean, it's still pricey, especially for, but but this is how they make their money. This is how, because let's be honest, if I was a singer and I was making shitloads of money from my music,
mm-hmm.
and let's say that the studio was not keeping, I don't know, 90% of it, then why the fuck do I want to go to a concert and put myself through that grueling schedule?
Yeah, I know.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the reason they do it. It's like, listen, this is, I got to make money.
Yeah, literally.
Exactly. So, but I've heard that some of this music can actually be like, to license some of these pieces of music could be something like $25,000 for one piece of music or something like that. And now all of a sudden you have, I don't know, about 10 different pieces of music in this one movie. And if they're all going for anywhere from between 10,000 to 25,000, I mean, it's a few, I don't know, $100,000 just to, get some music on this.
That's why a lot of these shows have a high budget.
Yeah.
And that's why you see Netflix, HBO, all that stuff. This is Prime. So, and they do make original content
Right.
a lot. Like I said, we're doing Invincible when that comes out in November, Jamie and I. So they have music in that as well. But you have to factor in that's part of the whole budget scheme of like either TV and film nowadays. They have to factor that in. That's a big chunk of change because to keep people interested in it, look at Blue Beetle. Did you watch it yet or no?
Yeah, I saw Blue Beetle.
Yeah, that had some music in it too. Think about it. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a big chunk of change. Now, mind you, we'll probably cover that at a later time. Just do a short little review. But I enjoyed it. Just to let you listeners know, I did enjoy it. It was a fun film. The only drawback to me, honestly, with that particular film is that it was, it's an origin story. And I'm like, we've done this before. They don't really have to jump
Right.
in. It should have only been within the first like 15, 20 minutes. But the whole movie is literally an origin story.
I enjoyed it for the most part of it. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
It was better than it was better than some of these other movies that we've seen, but unfortunately it was a colossal epic failure at the box office. And,
we'll talk about that at a later time.
Correct.
Right now, let's concentrate on this. We've kind of digressed, but basically, in a nutshell, what we were discussing about music was pretty shocked and pretty cool that we got some awesome music in this, and it could be a Spotify playlist.
Correct.
We'll move right into what I like to call like highlights or points or thoughts that I liked within the episode. The fact that we do get a boys alumnus in this episode, we get Ashley Barrett back. So Colby Minifie comes back as Ashley Barrett, and this is present day Ashley. So I kept looking at her hair, going, "Is that the wig? Is that the wig?" Because she was pulling her hair at the very end for last season that we saw her, and she was practically bald.
Who is this?
Ashley Barrett, the head of Vought.
Oh,
the redhead.
The redhead. She's played by Colby
Minifie.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. She's calling because she has to talk to the head of the university, the woman that's there.
Right.
And because they have to get the publicity properly done for these kids. Who is there? They were saying, well, who else is there? Who else was in charge? And we got Marie Moreau, we got Andre. Okay, all right. We'll play that card, that race card. And I'm like, that was kind of messed up, but honestly, it works a lot in that favor if you think about it.
Yeah, no, it does.
But you could see that Andre had didn't want to have anything to do with it in the very beginning at all, because this is about his friend Luke. But we also see Marie's change, because like literally within a heartbeat, she went from almost getting kicked out by Brink, not being popular because she doesn't have anything cool, because she came from poverty, if you think about it, and to being like, you are within the top 10 people on this Hot or Not thing that's there.
She's the first freshman to have ever been in the top 10.
Yeah, so it makes it look like, wow. And that's why I made the correlation to that movie Sydney White, because it was the same thing, a freshman hit, number 10,
right?
Yeah, within the top 10. And then Andre was there too, but you see right away Jordan Lee they freak out. I'm not going to say he or she because both of them are the same person, and they freak out. They're like, "I'm number 5." It's like, okay, that's kind of messed up. So, and you see her, Marie, get more comfortable with this at a certain point. You see her
Yes.
embracing it. Andre, you can see it from the time that they do selfies with the other classmates on campus. And then you're also seeing it from her point of view when she sees how people are utilizing social media. Like she encounters one guy and he goes, "Oh, hold on, yo, my friend Marie is here," like blah blah blah, and you can see his eyes when they blink, they blink the other way and the other way, so they blink from left to right and up and down.
I saw that. That was interesting.
It looked like a fish or some sort of lizard or something with eyes.
Right.
But he wanted to do a live stream pretty much like YouTube or TikTok or what have you, and have this like, hey, look, this is my friend. That way they could get more subscribers. And she kind of embraces it a little bit. And then later on, you see her, can I get a selfie with you? And everybody's doing selfies. But as she's walking past everybody, mourning the site where Luke killed himself, and you see the girl with the outstretched, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic arm going out for a selfie stick to get herself in the shot.
That's what I was going to mention. This definitely showed that whole bullshit that that you see.
She went from being upset, and then
she was fake. She was fake crying just so she could get her, her likes or whatever it is. Yeah, her views and stuff like that. And you're like, what the fuck? Come on. That's the kind of stuff that just really pisses me off about, especially social media and things like that, and that people actually believe it.
Oh,
that's the part that gets to me.
A
that
lot
people
of people
actually
they make it their career.
Yeah,
which that's like what somebody said to me. I went to a client's home once or something, and then they're like, "Oh, my child is this and that. They're an Instagram star," and I'm like, I have to be polite and say, "Okay, awesome." In the back of my head is, I've never heard of them. They're not famous to me.
Yeah.
So
I would have said it. I was like, oh, they're an Instagram and they're a star. Well, why haven't I heard of them?
Yeah, and that's exactly right. But you have to be nice as per usual for any company or anything. But you have to be like, okay, good for you.
It's just it's just amazing the world we live in nowadays. Of course,
it's true though. It is the way we live. But if you look at Marie, she continues this journey though with the promotion, the media, and everything else to the point where Guardians of Godolkin, that the press was trying to push it, and it's Vought influence and their influence of trying to get it out there. Get the interview with Andre, get the interview with Marie,
right?
And then getting them set up with, it's like, does she have wardrobe? No. And the guy who's helping her, he goes, nope, she doesn't have that. Nope, she doesn't have that. Oh, we got to work on that. It's like a whole, media blowout.
Like I said, it's the show really does show the ugly side of the entertainment industry and that ugly and for anybody out there who wants to all of a sudden be a hit on Instagram and all this stuff or whatever, keep in mind that you are a product and that's it. If you cannot make them any money, they don't care about you, and it's not about what you did for them yesterday and what you think you could do for them tomorrow. Is what can you do for them today, and that's it. And that's it, and that's how it is, and it's unfortunate that's
how the business is.
That's how the business is, and funny enough, one of the big reasons I got out of the business was because of that. Yeah, because I just I was tired of the amount of fake people that you said. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of genuine, amazing people there, but there's also some seriously bad people.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. They're cutthroat and they want to,
yeah.
You got to be a pirate about it.
Yeah.
No jokes.
A pirate.
Not to make a joke or a pun, but I found it really interesting, the whole setup for this episode, because not only does Marie encounter that issue of celebrity because she's crushing on somebody else that that also prides herself on for like social media and stuff like that, or even
Right.
being a celebrity herself, which would be Justine, and she's an influencer, and she's attending the Crimson Countess School for Performing Arts within Godolphin.
Right.
And she's the one that gets it out of Emma Little Cricket about the bulimia. And then she utilizes that to get more subscribers.
Oh, of course.
Even though she has like been in film. She's been in Vought films. And Emma even brings it up and then just gushes over it. But, later on we find out, that Justine uses that to capitalize for her own YouTube or whatever it is.
Right. And that's what's really messed up about it, because, and this is the whole, again, we go back to that social commentary where one person was all of a sudden using another person just so they can actually do that. And then, here it is, Little Cricket feels like, oh, here's somebody that really cares about me. And
yeah, she could be opening up to herself to her, and I have a friend,
Right. I have a friend and all this stuff. And next thing you know, that friend was using her just for that, which really sucks.
It's really sad. It's one of those where I started feeling more for Emma, in a sense that she is very excuse me. She is very susceptible to that, because she is susceptible to depression, suicide, because you can see something sad within her already based upon the bulimia.
Yes.
And then on top of that, in the very beginning, when they were in the class for drama, and they had to buddy up, and that's why they had that conversation. And then it came out because they have to do a scene together, and she was trying to do little person, big person kind of scenes, and Justine was telling her, "No, you don't have to do that." She goes, "I didn't do this with you because you're a little you could turn into a little person. I'm talking about." So that way we can do something and show who you are, which was very sincere, I think, through Justine. But as soon as the opening happened for information to expose somebody, that's when it kind of went on a twist.
Yeah.
And, but the way Justine got Emma's appeal and affection towards her and befriending her is because of the guy that she slept with that we saw in the first episode when she was riding his huge, humongous member with her arms. And she brings it up stating it's like, yeah, he does that because he probably just wants to make his dick look big. And so basically he used her, and Emma kind of figured it out, but Justine was there for the quick wit and retort, saying that he's got a small cock.
Right. But that's the whole thing. The whole thing is that, all of a sudden, I got used, but here it is. And then of course, Justine is trying to tell, he's using you, but yet you're doing the same thing to her.
She does the same thing in the end. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think she was outrightly looking to do that. I think when the information was there, the moment arose for Justine to do that. Yeah. I don't think it was intentional at first, but it just became to that. It got to that point, and then when Emma got hit hard with it, she wound up doing what she shouldn't be doing, which is going back to her bulimic thing and making herself very little.
Yeah.
And then Marie coming back to the room going, where the hell is she? You know?
Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's a fucked up show, but it's a great show because there are just so many different things to it, and it definitely follows what I would say the boys format. And that's what I like definitely about this show.
Yeah, I like the flow of it too. This is definitely the story is there now because we do get some. Yes, we said spoilers when we talked about this, everybody. So obviously, spoiler. Uh, Andre misses out on the interview process because he went investigating himself. Because after a little blow up with Marie or conversation with Marie, because Marie just basically kicked him down. She goes, I almost got kicked out of school for you, and I barely know you guys. I know that Luke was your friend, but I wasn't friends with him. I just met him that night, and you guys were all the cool people, and I was there. They were going to make me take the fall. That's why she was doing the whole interview thing.
Right.
And Andre didn't really want to do it, but also Andre wanted to find out more about what was going on within with Luke, because Luke had the last words that Luke said to him was something about the trees and his father. So Andre's father knew something. It's
right.
like, because Andre went to his father and said, hey, did Luke give you something? Or give you something for me? Or say something? Told you something for me?
Did you see episode 3 yet?
No.
You haven't seen it. Okay. So yeah, so you'll quickly learn that there's so much going on in the background, and so much that that people know, that it's what makes it all messed up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I knew that was going to happen based upon, like, okay, something's going on. There's something that we're going to learn. We do learn something at this point because Andre winds up he breaks into Brink's office during the time that he was supposed to be doing his interview. The person that was in charge of the promotion for the interview itself for Vought was like, well, it was supposed to be Guardians of Godolkin. Now it's just Guardian of Godolkin, which is too many syllables anyway.
They have to fix the whole thing, because since he couldn't make it, because he's investigating what the hell happened.
Yeah.
And finally discover that Patrick's brother Sam is alive, which everybody thought that he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what all of a sudden, that's why he was there, and he was like surprised and not only that, but the thing that you catch on to is that somehow Vought goes ahead and they went ahead and they went into Luke's bedroom or dorm room, and they sanitized his entire room.
Yeah, they said it smelt of cleaner,
of chlorine or something like that. Or bleach or something like that. So they completely sanitized his entire room. They took everything from there, and also they went into the office where, of course, Andre was at.
Yeah,
and they took the computers, they took the hard drives, they took everything. So basically, it's a cover up where they don't want anybody to know.
It's like Vought military went in there, and that's why they had all the guns. Hell. Save yourself, everybody. Hide your janitor, because they wound up killing him in the hallway.
That was crazy.
Yeah. He was like, hey, guys, you're not supposed to be here. Boom, boom, boom. No, it's like, damn. Yeah. They just killed him.
No, there was no gunshot. They just slit his throat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But they still killed him.
They still killed him, which is crazy. And of course, Andre almost gets caught. And and then actually does get caught by another guard, and then another guard comes down and starts to talk to the other guard talking about how they're gonna shove the what is it, the flashlight.
She goes, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna take your flashlight. You're gonna. I'm
You're
gonna put
wet,
it down
You're gonna wet
Put
the
it-
flashlight.
with your mouth, and then you're gonna shove it up your chocolate asshole.
No, he just chocolate starfish.
Starfish. Okay, you got it. I didn't get the quote, but yeah. Then you come to find out that Kate was above and had touched the girl soldier to come down
Right.
because at that point when Andre got caught, they used what was it, a sonic sound, because they said that their hearing is a lot more like dogs.
Yeah, it says that people with powers have a lot much higher what is it?
Sensitivity to sound.
sensitivity to frequencies.
Yeah.
So that's how he was able to almost control him or something like that.
Yeah, he was able to like immobilize him for a while. It's kind of like
Correct.
using like a dog whistle, because
Yeah.
dog whistles could hurt dogs. That's why people don't use them all the time. But yeah, they you get that whole scene and are able to get away because Kate did that for him, but she winds up passing out and he has to grab her and hold her because she had done it way too many times, I guess, throughout the day.
Right.
And it just taps her. And that's probably why she wouldn't be part of the 7. Because if you're constantly, it's like if you're gonna wipe out after like, oh, I touched like 10 people and
Right.
I can't do anything,
Yeah, everything in this show is all about them wanting to be part of the 7, which is crazy because now makes you think about, well, did the original 7 have to go through all these things?
Oh, they did. That they
Right.
did, for the fact that you see how messed up Maeve is
Right.
in the end, how messed up her life was. Homelander was a genetic mess up altogether from like,
Yeah, but I don't think he went to college. I think he was just what was it? He was just what I was
he
saying.
was just brought up in a lab and
in
then
a lab
brought
or
in
something.
but he was raised by the doctors and scientists
Yeah.
to do all that stuff. But like A-Train, and we already saw that in the first episode when it was the introduction of A-Train into the 7. So it was the first person of color to be introduced into the 7, but he was
Correct.
brought in. So I think Polarity said that, which is Andre's father. But yeah, I think Polarity himself was probably all messed up. He was probably brought up in that school as well.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah, and I find it funny too because the way Andre finds the phone after he figures it out.
yeah.
Luke hid it inside the crotch of Andre's father's statue at Godolphin University. So it's in his crotch. So he has to rip open the crotch with his powers to get the phone, which was basically him stating that Sam is alive and he knows something. And that's why he confronted Brink to,
Right.
and that was the whole point behind the whole tragedy that had happened. He was trying to expose it to the world, and he loved his brother, but his brother was taken. And then we find out through Andre's research that his brother, Luke's brother Sam, was a little bit out there. He's crazy. He had to be locked up, but he found a most recent file, and the kid looked familiar to him.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely him. And then when they show actual footage of, that it is him, they're doing something to his back. So it looked like, something like a spinal tap or something like that they were doing to his back.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering why. Why were they doing what they're doing?
Doing all these weird
Yeah,
experiments.
they're doing all these weird experiments or torturing or whatever it is. I mean, it's all messed up. So
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was an interesting episode. We did get some good music. We got to see a lot more of the characters, and that's literally how the episode progressed in some way. It was really centered around Marie, Andre, Kate a little bit, and Emma. So
Right.
and
Jordan. So can we talk about how this simulates a lot of the X-Men?
Yeah.
Because I started thinking about it, it's like, well, a lot of first of all, just like the X-Men,
Mhm.
all these kids are born with their powers, and
Yeah.
their powers seems to manifest either it seems like it manifests by puberty, just like in the X-Men.
Yes.
So you have somebody, so Patrick is basically, he could set himself on fire. So I mean, to compare him to who? What's the Starfire?
Starfire,
Who was
and there was
the Human Torch,
and then you got
Sunfire.
Sunfire was the
right.
Asian version of
Right.
Starfire.
Then Kate, who touches people and influences people. I mean, really, she's more of an empath, but she has to touch people.
Yeah,
But she reminds me of Rogue.
correct.
So in that case,
Instead of
and
stealing
then-
people's powers, she's there to influence.
correct. And then you have somebody like Marie, who cuts herself and manipulates blood. I'm trying to figure out who she takes after on, in the X-Men or something like that, or if there's anything
Well, Andre
similar
would
to
be
that.
Forge.
No, because Andre can manipulate metal, so it's like Magneto.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that more Magneto than Forge.
has more,
Forge,
right.
Forge was really more manipulation of mechanics and robots.
Correct.
Okay.
So, and then Jordan, which can switch, gender, but also has
Super strength.
super
And
strength and things like that.
Impenetrable skin.
So, I mean, there, I guess you could say there's several mutants out there, of course, that have that.
Mhm.
And then Emma, who shrinks. I mean, the only person I could think of is Ant-Man, but or what's her name now? His daughter.
Oh yeah.
Who's I forgot what they call her now, but yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if there's a mutant that can do that could shrink itself. I'm sure there is.
I'm sure they created one. The X-Men lore goes for, I don't know, what, 60, 70 years at this point.
Yeah, something like that. So it's crazy. And then Ben. What's Ben's powers again?
Ben. Who are you talking about, Ben?
The guy isn't there a Ben in there? Maybe he hasn't come out yet. Like, I'm looking at the cast of.
I'm looking on the Wikipedia for the main cast.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right. So, but yeah, so then you have but again, like Marie's the only one that I'm trying to figure out who she simulates as a mutant. But yeah, all of them have mutant abilities that they're born with.
Mhm.
There's a school just like Xavier School for gifted youngsters,
Mhm.
and it's very like the first The Boys is basically kind of a knockoff of the Justice League, and even the Justice Leagues and even the Avengers, because what's his name who has the Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy? What about him?
Soldier Boy is supposed to be like Captain America or something like that.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah. So it's, so it's kind of a take on that. This seems to be a take on the X-Men.
Very true.
So, which is interesting, but much, much darker.
It is far, far darker.
Yeah.
Darker completely.
I haven't seen anybody with optic blasts or that can manipulate, the weather, or have claws coming out. There is a kid though that looked blue. So in the first episode, when they were doing the commercial, there was a blue kid with horns. So I was like, "Oh, that's simulating a Nightcrawler."
Yeah, we also had a chick with a tail that Justine was trying to get. Hey, stick your tail in your mouth. Get it in there. She had a tail, and she kind of did something with the tail too. I'm not saying dirty, but she did stick it in her mouth. And that was one of the girls that was there for the selfies because she actually smacked her friend with it.
Yes.
Like, oh, you ruined it. She just ran off. We didn't get her selfie.
But yeah, so it's I wonder how Marvel is like looking at this and going, "Oh my god."
Well, the funny thing is too, one of the executive producers is a dead giveaway of why this show is so extreme. And he also did that when he started out with Preacher.
Hmm.
Because Preacher was very extreme when we covered that too. I thought, because it has a lot of it's literally religious overtones. I thought that Steve wouldn't be able to cover it then, but he was happy enough to do it, and we did cover Preacher. But think of it, Seth Rogen. He created Preacher. Him and Scott Goldberg, I think, or what's not Goldberg.
Not sure who it was, but yeah.
I forgot the other producer. He did. I think he is. I'm forgetting the producer, but nonetheless, when Seth Rogen's name's attached to it, it's going to be a little bit of an extremism. Because if you look at Invincible on Amazon Prime 2, that is extreme for an animated show.
Oh, of course.
It was so bloody and a lot of cursing.
Trust me, I can't wait for the second season on that one.
So, yeah. And then I just love how, and on top of that, the perverseness of it, makes me not want to say Jumanji out loud now if I'm passing somebody.
Did you see him in the background?
Yes,
when
he screamed it out as they were passing her, and it was it was either Marie or Kate and Andre passing by, and they were having a conversation, and all you hear is Jumanji.
You see him take the bat and right into his groins or something.
Yeah, what she said to him was, "It's like, you're gonna take a little jog over to Dick's Sporting Goods, buy yourself a nice Louisville Slugger, bring it right back to the quad, and then swing that bat as hard as you can into your nuts every hour on the hour. Every time you swing, yell Jumanji. Sound good?"
And he was like, "Yeah," and he just takes off. I was like,
enthusiastically, yeah.
Let me tell you, that definitely a power I would love to have.
What you're gonna do is you're gonna buy this 85-inch OLED TV.
Oh my god, my sales would have gone through the roof. And if your wife gives you any lip, you go buy her the most expensive purse or shoes she ever wants. I don't care if you guys are in debt for the rest of your life.
This will help your marriage. Trust me.
Man.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool moments in this episode. I was satisfied and happy. But yeah, that was it for me in quotes and for highlights and what I thought about the episode.
Yeah. No, it's very good. Again, they started very well. It's kept me engaged. Like I said, I already saw the third episode. I haven't seen the fourth.
Yeah.
So on the third episode, you find out a lot more things, which you will find out pretty soon. But I can't wait to see what else comes out of this, because honestly, while I think The Boys, in terms of being messed up, it's super extreme, what I was saying, because the shit that Highlander does and the shit that everybody does is just over the top. There's some over the top moments here, but there's a lot of psychological shit here too.
There is.
I mean, there is just deep rooted shit here that you just like, wow, I definitely got to see, how they're gonna deal with all this. So,
well, we got 8 episodes total for this season.
Awesome.
We have, when they initially released for the first day, it was the first 3 episodes. Obviously, we're only covering them individually.
Right.
But they released the first 3. That means you only have 5 left. Actually,
now you got 4 left.
Yesterday,
the 4th one just came out. Right.
Yeah. Yesterday, episode 4 came out. So I look forward to see, because now you're halfway there.
Correct.
So there's a lot to ingest really quickly. So I'm curious as to how they wrap up this season, which makes me question: will this lead into the Boys, the actual Boys series, and the next season?
Right. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how this relates to the Boys in the timeline.
It's current day. Literally, it's after the issues with Vought, because you've seen the commercials or even newscasts on TV about Homelander and what he had done.
Okay.
The last episode they showed that.
Oh, you know what? I didn't catch that. So
in the background.
Okay. So yeah, I didn't catch that, but I'm wondering. Well, okay. Yeah, I guess part of me. I guess we have to see the Boys just to see how this. So you could then go, oh, okay, this relates to this show.
Yeah,
they're either going parallel to each other, or if it's actually right after, or all of this.
Yep.
Or before all this. So it all depends.
Yep, it does. But yep. Well, with that was our coverage. I feel. I think we covered it enough for one episode.
Yeah, no, it was great. I think, like I said, I definitely highly recommend it. I think, of course, beware. It's not a show for kids. All right. Yeah. So, but other than that, I think fantastic show on that. So far, so good.
Yeah. All right. Put out for feedback, ladies and gentlemen, but we didn't get much, but we did get something from Steve. So we'll listen what Steve has to say. He couldn't make it this week with us. So.
Hey, panelers, it's Steve again, and I'm not here for Gen V, but I'm watching the show, and I'm loving it, and gosh, I can't wait to see where this show is going to go. Man, it's so crazy. That scene at the end, I had to cover my eyes when that guy said, "Give me that flashlight." Yeah, that was just eek. But anyway, the whole thing is just great. I can't wait to see this mystery unfold with the Woods. Loved seeing Colby Menifee, and just can't wait to see how this season is going to progress, and what other, like I said before, what other cameos we're going to get. I can't wait to see who is going to show up, and how is Marie Moreau going to navigate this new reality that she's in, where she never had a phone before. Now she's given a phone. She's the first freshman to be in the top 10. All these things are great, and I'm sorry that I couldn't be there to cover it with Rob and Mark, but guys, you're going to do a great job. I can't wait to listen to it. I will talk to you later.
Cool.
Thanks, Steve. But yeah, that leads us into our feedback and how you could give us feedback. As always, we could be heard on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast player of choice. There's a rating or review there. Please do so. Be greatly appreciated. People have given us reviews on Apple Podcasts, which is the premier, most favored choice of podcast player out there, apparently. But they've been all 5s, which I'm happy about. So thank you. But if people could continue to do so, gives a little bit more awareness about us, as well as, word of mouth. You can find us on our Facebook group, which would be facebook.com/panels2pixels. Like I said, I put it out there, so I always leave an image of what we're covering, and then just say, hey, put them in the comments below. But all you have to do is check out the Facebook page every once in a while. And the same thing goes for Instagram, and that can be found at Panels to Pixels Podcast. So, just subscribe, and then, check us out every once in a while. You'll probably get notified, just like you would do if you do YouTube, which we are also on. All you have to do is look for Panels to Pixels Podcast, push the subscribe button. That way you'll be alerted. And actually, then the bell will alert you every time. But give us a thumbs up. Always helps out. And then obviously you could just email us at panels2pixels1@gmail.com. That's panels TO for 2 and pixels and the number 1 at Gmail. So you could just send out a regular texted email. It's amazing. Or you could just record yourself and send it as an attachment, and we'll play it. But the next episode, we'll be covering episode 4, but look forward to us covering Loki season 2, episode 1. So Steve, Rob, and I will be back for that. And we're trying to do these independently, so people don't get spoiled on something, or they don't have to sit through something they don't want to listen to. Because those people that would be like, I just wanted to hear about Gen V. I didn't want to hear about Loki, which I understand. Some people
or vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa. So, but Rob, where could people hear you?
So you could hear me and the rest of the motley crew at Fantasy Picks Movie Edition, the podcast that we cover, failed movies, and we actually do our own fantasy picks on actors, directors, story, and stuff like that. Try to fix it to see if it would succeed. We also do our top 5 drafts on different types of movie genres, actors, and anything that has to do with movies. And now our new edition is called Behind the Score, which we just finished doing Hans Zimmer.
Okay.
With Adam Gonzalez and George. I forget his last name, and I apologize for George. Right? Oh, Jorge is actually his name. Jorge Naranjo, I think is his name. I apologize for that, but we just finished doing Hans Zimmer, which was great. So yeah, we cover those 3 things. And so if you can listen to us, let us know what you think of the show, and we definitely would appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, as always, you could hear me here at Unpanels the Pixels podcast, as always, and you can hear me at Adrenaline Cinema podcast as well. And you guys know the deal. We cover action, adventure, sport. No, yeah, eventually we'll do sports. I do want to do Shaolin soccer, so some sports there too.
Shaolin soccer is not a sport; it's a movie.
It is a sports movie.
Okay. Okay.
It's not a sport. Shaolin soccer is not a sport. Yeah, Shaolin soccer is not a sport, but it'd be awesome if they did.
Listen, I would be so into it if it was like that. My God.
But we do fantasy, thriller, suspense movies as well. By the time you get this, Escape from New York will be out that Frank Rodriguez and I had covered. So check that out when you can. It's Adrenaline Cinema Podcast. But for now, you can hear me here. All right. But with that, I just want to thank everybody for listening. I'm Mark.
I'm Robert.
Different panel, different pixels, same podcast. This was Panels Pixels podcast, and we'll see you on the next panel.
Bye.
I'm too busy laughing. I couldn't do that right.